Howdy guys, Jimmy Song here. In this video, I'm going to talk about conferences and how they've shifted over the past year. Back in 2017, there were a lot of really kind of, well, I mean, no other way to put it, scammy conferences, right? Like you would go to them, and about 70% of the presentations were basically selling you an ICO. And I likened them at the beginning to like timeshare presentations, right? Nobody actually wants to be there and listen to their pitch on why you should buy this particular ICO. And I mean, like literally, there were so many conferences where that was the case, and the reason for that was because these ICOs would sponsor these conferences. So the conference ticket might be $300, but most of the money that the conference made was from sponsorships from these ICOs. So they might charge $50, $100, $200,000 in order to sponsor the conference, and of course they would give you a prominent speaking slot in exchange. And this was the case for a lot of conferences' business models for a while, but they're now starting to die out because ICOs are not as popular anymore, and the budgets in these ICOs are not nearly as high. But I want to crow a little bit because I've been predicting the demise of these kinds of things for a while, and I haven't liked in them. I thought they were terrible for the industry. I thought that they needed to die. I thought they were giving cryptocurrencies and of course Bitcoin like a bad name as a result. But it was astonishing to me how many people went from like not owning anything to immediately going to invest in ICOs. This is like the worst of both worlds, right? Like you're like too conservative and not willing to look at new technology, and then you are way too liberal in the sense that you're just willing to invest in almost anything because you think that they'll make money. And this is what people like took advantage of with these conferences that cost, whatever amount. It was the attendees were the product, and that's not good, right? Like you want as an attendee to a conference to actually be gaining something out of it and not being sold to. It's kind of like the Facebook model. You are the product for Facebook. You are the one that's being sold because you get everything for free. In this way, Bitcoin conferences are so much better because it clearly is all about Bitcoin. And the sponsors tend to be like actual Bitcoin companies and not people selling you on some stupid ICO. And there are many, like most of the panels are really interesting, and there's certainly no shilling for like invest in my Ponzi scheme. If there's any shilling, it's usually a new interesting product, like say, a hardware wallet or a new model of an exchange or something like that, something new, right? And that's actually interesting. And we're seeing a lot more of those pop up. It used to be just scaling Bitcoin. Since then, breaking Bitcoin has come on, advancing Bitcoin, unconfiscatable. There's another one that's being held by Bitcoin Magazine. I think it's called Bitcoin Conference 2019, something like that. There's also BitBlock Boom. There's Baltic Honey Badger. There's Hacker Congress. There's there are more that are popping up as well, but these are what I would call more user driven, as in you are not the product when you go to these things, and that's a very good thing. And I'd like to see more Bitcoin only conferences instead of these like ICO fests or whatever, and that's a really good thing. Anyway, hope that helps you. This song is done.